currently working a job which I consider to be a dead end job, as in, I don't particularly like working there because it's not really doing anything for me apart from giving me a salary and nice benefits. And yeah, it can be argued those things are really good, and they are. I'm not dissing them or anything. However, what I'm doing at work is not satisfying my life in any meaningful way. I I do not feel passionate about what I'm doing. It's kind of it's just the classic 9 to 5, working from 9 to 5, and then that's it. There really is nothing else to it. It does not feel like an extension from my life, but rather it feels like something apart from my life that I'm wasting my life on so I can live my life. It's not an extension, it's just what helps me live. And I find that quite unfortunate because in this day and age, there's so much opportunities for many people to, well, live their lives in more meaningful ways. Like, because of the internet and because of all of these technologies, we can do a lot of things. We can pursue a great many passions. However, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do that. Most people end up failing, and that's very sad in my opinion. I think if you're watching this video, then you can also relate to working a dead end job which you don't like. I certainly can. My first job, I did not like that one bit. And then as I, changed, my positions changed, the different jobs I attended to, I eventually found this one, and this one I don't particularly like, but I don't dislike it either. I love the people who are in that job. We are very friendly, but I don't think most of you can relate to that. I'm pretty sure we all have had that one boss which we absolutely fucking hated. We all have had that one coworker who's a piece of shit. We all have gotten late to work because the bus came late or because of the rain or something like that. I certainly can. I guess I'm making this video because I want to vent. Because deep inside I want to be doing something else. However, I'm too busy with work to be pursuing my dreams. Like, it's like people say that you work from 9 to 5, you earn a lot of money by the time you retire, and then you can live your life. You can live your life to the fullest when you retire. Which is very sad because you're only living your life when you're about to die. When you're really old and when you're really close to death. Only then are you beginning to actually live your life. And I find that very, very sad. Or there's the alternative to that, which is to, work your job and then live your life from the hours apart from your job. So if you're working from 9 to 5, then from 7 to 8, you do your hobbies and all of that, and then after 5 you do everything else that can help you live your life. However, most people don't do that because either they don't have the time, they have tons of other responsibilities, or just they completely have given up already. I find that really sad. I find that especially sad. However, as I'm talking about this, I just remembered something, and that's the classic Marcus Aurelius quote, which is that you do not have control over outside events, but rather you only have control over your mind. And the one who controls their mind is the one who has bested life. I'm paraphrasing it obviously, but that's what I just remembered. And the main meaning behind that quote is that if you have control over the way you perceive life, then you can make meaning out of anything. So even if working the 9 to 5 is not meaningful to you, you can still find mundane joys in that and beauties in that classic experience, and still carry on living in a way that matters to you, which is what I resorted to. So the 9 to 5, I did not like it at first. However, over time, I did get used to it, and it has gotten to a point now where I find it very beautiful. It's not like I want to do it for the rest of my life. Absolutely not. However, I don't mind it anymore. I like it, and it's not like a very big job. Okay, I'm still a customer service executive, so it's not like I'm a big shot or anything. I don't make that much of money. I am very little in terms of the hierarchical powers that are in the organization. I'm at the bottom tier. However, I still find enjoyment. And I think that's what sets. I guess that's like a special innate power humans have, which is that, they always say mind over body, and most people, when they do that, when they use that phrase, they talk about discipline or working hard. However, I think another aspect to that quote, mind over body, is that you can use your mind to find happiness at any given moment. I think Victor E. Franklin, so for those of you who don't know Victor E. Franklin, he was a Jewish survivor in the concentration camps in World War II, yada yada yada. Very horrific situation. However, in one of his books, Man's Search for Meaning, a really terrific book, you had read it. In one of his books, there was a quote which says that the only and last freedom that humans have, that man has, is their ability to react in any given set of circumstances. And I think in our life, we have the freedom to react to life in ways that are not so useful to us, or in ways that are useful to us. And I think doing so in the latter would be how we find meaning. So you can either look at your 9 to 5 job in disappointment and misery, or you can do your best to find happiness where happiness can be found. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. Sometimes your 9 to 5 job, there would be terrible people, there would be terrible managers, and they will be torturing you. However, and that's very sad, don't get me wrong. However, I think I genuinely do believe this, but even if you are being tortured, I believe that we are very resilient creatures and we can overcome it, and we can still find hope at the end of the tunnel. And I believe you can do it too. Yeah. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, see you.